You've seen him in Bridget Jones's Diary, Love Actually, and Pride and Prejudice, films which provoked fans to name Colin Firth the thinking woman's sex symbol. Now he's back in one of his most memorable roles, Bridget's love interest, Mark Darcy, in Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason. Colin Firth, good morning. Nice to have you.
Good morning.
Apparently this role has brought you to a new level of fame, Colin. We now have Darcy Mania and the Firth Factor. Have you heard about all this stuff?
These words have come up, yeah. I get hit with a new one every so often. I haven't heard the Firth Factor.
The Firth Factor, which is not easy to say, by the way.
No, and I don't know what the factor is. What is the factor? No, it's, it's, you get to a certain age when to be described as a sex anything is something you should be grateful for.
I hear you, but apparently at the London premiere, people were going bananas over you, more so than any other actor who was present. Is this true?
A very loyal friend must have told you that. I heard a lot of noise for a lot of people, you know, but it was, the English aren't prone to making a lot of noise.
Right.
And this seems to bring that out in them, this whole thing.
Well, it's nice because, you know, some movies that are made about Great Britain are kind of poo-pooed in your homeland, and yet Bridget Jones has really been embraced in a way. For example, I know Love Actually was kind of trashed by people who live in England, which was very upsetting to me because I absolutely loved that movie, and I loved your story the best.
Did you?
I did. I love that story. I'm such a sap, but
no, I love that story too, and we do tend to tear into our own a little bit, you know, whether it's our soccer team or our, you know, sports heroes or our musical heroes. We're not easily spared for being successful. It's a bit of a crime.
But why do you think Bridget Jones has been more embraced than some other products? I know, for example, Renee, there's been high praise for her, and everyone says nice things about her acting and her accent. And
well, I think every generation takes on some sort of representative, you know, and I think that she speaks to a lot of people. It's hard to catch that in a bottle, you know. How do you know what's going to work? We'd all be making hit movies if we could, but somehow she's tapped into an urban 30-something
sensibility.
I think she has, yeah, and it's spread well beyond the shores of England, as we've seen.
That's true. I think a lot of people in this country can completely relate to her. In The Edge of Reason, I know your character, Mark Darcy, changes from an aloof, unknown Bridget love interest to total sex god and human rights lawyer, Mark Darcy. Let's take a look.
Unfortunately, yes. You see, the problematic thing is, I love you.
What?
I said, I love you.
I'm sorry, I missed that again.
I said, I love you, for God's sake.
Well, all right, no need to shout. I'll come down and let you in.
Mark Darcy is so cute. I mean, because he is sort of a bit awkward and shy. And how much of Colin Firth is in Mark Darcy? Do you hate that question?
No, it's just a difficult one. I think the easiest way to dodge it in a way is to say, how likely is Mark Darcy to be an actor? You know, how would he choose that as a profession? A man who is...
No, because he's a human rights lawyer.
Well, he cares about other people. You know, our profession is not known for that. And, you know, he also is a person who is horrified at any kind of emotional demonstration. You know, he's repressed. Actors like to make a show of themselves, you know, and think about themselves and all that sort of thing. So in some ways, he's the polar opposite of me, professionally speaking. We must overlap somewhere because they keep asking me to do it, you know. They keep wanting me to wheel him out again and again.
And there's something so appealing about his character because I think, for example, I know there's a scene when Bridget is talking about her wobbly bits and not showing him her body, which so many women can relate to. I mean, who really wants to do that unless you're like Giselle or somebody, right? And he says, I like you just the way you are. In fact, we have a sign out in the crowd that says, we like you just as you are, Colin, which I thought was so cute because obviously people just swoon at at his sort of acceptance and loving nature, which is nice.
I was astonished by the reaction to that line of dialogue, actually, because what it speaks of is a hunger that people must have to be told that.
To be loved for who they are.
I think so. I thought maybe it went without saying, but I think that's the problem. Perhaps it doesn't go without saying, Perhaps it does need to be said. And, I've never been in the business of going into relationships to try to modify anybody. But
you can't, really.
You can't. I mean, it's a dead end, and I've never been interested in that. But I think that it must just be the declaration that makes the difference.
But we can't let you go, and I know we only have a few seconds left without showing a bit of the fight scene between you and Hugh Grant, which was rather pathetic, Colin.
I'm so sorry to hear you saying that.
Come on, you have to admit, were you thinking, oh my God, I'm more manly than that?
You know what? This is exactly how it will be. Two very angry, slightly frightened and utterly incompetent Englishmen.
Well, Colin, great to see you. Thanks for coming by, and thanks for talking to the crowd.
Great to be back.